So you've moved on from that abusive partner or situation from the past. The thing is the anger still comes up, even though you might have moved on with other partners, or maybe you're dating around, and you still have that sense that comes up in your body and mind. So how do you get rid of that shadow from the past so that you can feel safe, supported, and most of all, not angry? I'm going to give you the exact steps that you can take today so that you can get rid of this sense and move on in a healthier way. So let's take this deep dive into what has happened in your relationship. The thing you need to remember is it is not your fault that you're having a hard time moving on. Something has happened to you and you've learned things from it. But what happens is the brain sometimes has a hard time with that. And we need to slow things down and really think through it. Pause, reflect before we move on so that we can do this with a sense of grace and ease and confidence in moving forward, where we feel like we want to dive into the next love, not feel like we're broken or wounded. So basically, the impact of what you went through will heal as we start to work through it in a meaningful way. So let's get started. The truth is, you can't move on, not unless you take inventory of what happened. You need to know the damage that was caused. Then what you do with that is you take those pieces and you transform them into wishes, hopes, and dreams for your future to come. So what we're doing here is we're honoring the past. That helps us to pick up the gifts from the pain that was inflicted. And we take that and we transform it so that we can move on with more resiliency. So here's your pro tip on how you can do this in your life. Take all of the ideas that you have gathered about yourself, the negatives. So let's say that you had an abusive partner who told you that you were lazy all the time, just repeated it all the time, and now you're kind of sensitive to people thinking that you're not doing enough. That would be an example of something you learned from your relationship, and you want to put that down on your list. There might be things like lazy. There's going to be other things that you're going to add to the list. Maybe it's ugly or too skinny or too large or something like that. And you want to put all of these things that you feel sensitive about on our list here. We're going to be taking all these awful ideas that you're discovering and that you're writing down on this list, and we're going to transform them in the videos to come. But for now, all we're doing is getting the list started, and sometimes it's a lot easier and more accurate if you gather these things over time. So even though we're starting this and kind of going through all the steps here, remember that you might want to maybe take a couple of days to really think about some of these things and just pay attention to the things that make you feel insecure or unsafe. You want to make sure you have at least 3 to 5 things listed. And then what we're going to do is gather that, transform it, and create something really positive from it. But make sure you have about 3 to 5 things. It does not have to be romantic situations. It still counts if you're talking about teachers or parents or really anybody that you've gotten along with, coworkers, all of it counts. So what we're going to do now is we're going to jump over to the next video where we're going to go over what to do with this list. But for now, just keep filling in your list. Once you have that 3 to 5 minimum, go ahead and click on over to the next video. And we're going to get started. I'm Shawn Davis, and I'm your Relational Healing Guide.